Hello, welcome to Covering Sports with Prince, and in this segment today, I'm going to be speaking on Benjamin Whittaker. Is Benjamin Whittaker just a hype job? Now, I will say this. Benjamin Whittaker is a pleasure to watch. He's a highly entertaining fighter, which a lot of boxing fans appreciate and want when they go to watch a fight. And there's no doubt about it, he's also skilled. He has flair, he has footwork. You know, he's box office in terms of entertainment, the way he fights. Even the showboating, a lot of people may not like his showboating, but that's a factor that adds to his game as an entertainer. A lot of people go to watch him. He can box. There's still a lot of improvement to make. Like any other boxer, there's always improvement. I don't think he's entirely mastered his craft, and he hasn't really been tested. The controversial draw against Liam Cameron really had a lot of people questioning whether or not he's world title worthy. But obviously, like we all know, in the second fight, he beat Liam Cameron in the second round knockout. I don't think people really understand. Whittaker only went professional in 2022. So that's 3 years ago. He's about 28 now. So he went or turned professional at the age of 25. And so I say that to say there's still a lot of work to be done by Ben Whittaker. He hasn't proven himself against a top worthy opponent. It's just the building stages of his career now, although he's 28. And he has a very good amateur background. He has around 60 odd fights, winning 53 and I think about 12 or 13 losses. And he's an Olympian, which is a high achievement. A silver Olympian, and that he lost to Arlen Lopez. And Arlen Lopez just turned pro as well. You know, he turned pro in 2022 also. So that speaks volumes, and he's 32 years of age. And I say that to say this. Your Olympian medal, or you being an Olympian as a boxer, doesn't mean you're going to have an amazing boxing career. There's not many boxing Olympians that transcended over into professional boxing that made a great name. Is very, very, very rare. For example, the Arlen Lopez guy that beat Ben Whittaker, he only has 2 professional fights. He's 32 years of age. Will he become world champion? Anything's possible, but most likely not. He has a high amateur career. He has many amateur bouts and won many championships, but it doesn't mean he's going to be a world champion. You know, even the flyweight by the name of Galal Hafe, he won the gold medal in the boxing competition in the flyweight division in the same 2020 Tokyo Olympics as Ben Whittaker. He only went pro also in 2022. He's 32 years of age now, so he went professional at 29. But I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Not many Olympians go on to being superstars or world champion. You know, you have the likes of Pernell Whittaker, you have the likes of Oscar De La Hoya, you have the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Lennox Lewis, Steve McCrory, you know, Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Nino Benvenuti, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. There's not many that's gone on to be world champions, what I'm trying to explain. But going back to the topic at hand with Benjamin Whittaker. Benjamin Whittaker is the first, in my eyes, the first boxer since Anthony Joshua that has this kind of buzz behind him. You know, he already has a good following. So that has kind of given him a bolster with promoters and the boxing world in general, because there's no other British fighter that has the following or upcoming that has the following like Ben Whittaker, and you know, they don't have that same pull. So I think what they're trying to do is make Ben Whittaker the face of British boxing, because there's no one else doing it at that level, or they don't have the same pull. It was Anthony Joshua. You know, he had Tyson Fury before. You know, Moses Atama, he's a boxer, but he doesn't have the same pull as Ben Whittaker in terms of followers. It definitely got the skills, no doubt about it. Gonna be world champion one day, hands down. But then, even in saying that, Otama is not British. You know, he's not British born. He's not actual British boxer, so that rules him out. So I believe with Ben Whittaker, they're just using him to bolster British boxing, to just put a name there, because that's the name that's ringing. That's the name that has the pull. And no one, like I said, has had that pull since Anthony Joshua. Do I think he's one of the best light heavyweights? Do I think he's able to beat some of the top light heavyweights now? No, there's a long way to go, you know. David Morrell, I don't even think he beats Anthony Yard. You know, Buatsi's coming to the end of his career. He hasn't really done anything significant in his career. You know, you have Callum Smith. I think Callum Smith beats him. You know, after Beterbiev definitely beats him. Bivol, David Benavidez. Like, there's just so much competition within that light heavyweight division. I find it hard to see how Ben Whittaker would one day become world champion, unless the likes of Bivol retire, the likes of Beterbiev retire, you know, but Benavidez is still going to be around. So I do believe that Ben Whittaker is going to be one of them fighters that has a career in boxing but doesn't really do anything significant due to the competition that's there right now. Because when Bivol goes and when Beterbiev goes, which is very soon, I believe, Benavidez is next. And then you have Morrell. However, in saying that, you just never know, because Benavidez does plan to go up. He is going to go up to fight Ramirez for a world championship. Plans to come back down to light heavyweight after going up to cruiserweight to unify the light heavyweight division. Will he do it? I do believe he would eventually do it. So in saying that, when the division starts to clear up, the David Benavidez and the David Morrell's going to step up. Then Whittaker may have a chance due to the competition. Competition's way too high for Ben Whittaker at this present moment of time to even think about drawing for one of the top light heavyweights in this division right now. You know, it's still a building process for him. It's still early stages. So, to conclude, would I say that Ben Whittaker is a hype job? I would say they are putting more pressure on Ben Whittaker than what's needed, and he's not at a world level yet, and he's merely being pushed because he has attraction, or has the greatest traction in British boxing. But besides that, I wouldn't say that he's world level, and I don't see how he's gonna become a world level fighter with the competition that they're currently picking for him. I know it's about building the numbers and, you know, the buzz around him, but if he wants to reach to that world level, there's more that needs to be done, which everyone already knows. Like I said, it's early stages. So as for right now, I would say it's merely just a publicity thing. Nothing to do with his skills or what he could potentially achieve. It's just that he's a name that's drawing numbers, that's selling tickets, putting bums in seats. And in saying that, thank you for tuning into Sports with Prince.